Next on BNI Mid-America TV, it's the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. Gold Club members have sponsored 6 or more people into BNI, and they are here to share their secrets with you. If you want to improve your inviting techniques, then this is the show for you. And now, our host, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of BNI Mid-America TV's Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger with Level Up Coaching LLC, and I am here with Jeff Solomon, who is one of our newer, I can't say newest because we actually have 2 more new Gold Club members coming on in the next month. But Jeff is one of our newer Gold Club members, and he is with VSP Construction. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Oh, we are so glad you're here. So for those people who are watching and listening right now who don't know who you are, can you share with us a little bit about your company and who is your ideal client?
Sure, be glad to. VSP Construction is, first of all, a commercial interior tenant finish contractor. So we don't do anything residential, no basements, no decks, etc. And I also happen to be, just as an aside, a registered architect in both Missouri and Illinois. Believe it or not, most people would think our best referral source is a commercial real estate agent or a commercial property manager, and they are terrific sources for referrals. The strange one that I found through BNI is the fact that commercial lenders are outstanding referral sources as well. Because a lot of times when a business owner is considering a capital improvement, they go to their banker before they even go to their CPA because they're interested, that they want to know, how much money can I borrow? The banker asks the logical question then, how much is it going to cost? They want to know how much it's going to cost if they're going to borrow money.
Right.
But the business owner just has an idea and they say, well, I think it's going to cost about $500,000. The banker replies, well, do you have an estimate? Do you have an architect? And no, this is what I think. This is what I want to do. The banker interrupts him and says, look, I know somebody who's both an architect and a commercial contractor. Why don't you go see him? Because he can help you formalize your ideas and put them on paper. And then turn around and give you a preliminary cost estimate for that. Then once you have those numbers, come back and talk to me and we have something to talk about. So it's amazing how that's worked for me over the years. And I wouldn't have thought that as a possible source, but it's worth it.
That's amazing. So I'm guessing based on just that you've told us about this great referral source for you, do you have a story that kind of exemplifies a time when that happened for you, a nice BNI success story?
Yeah, it's really kind of interesting. We had in my chapter a branch manager for a commerce bank close to where our chapter met. That person left our chapter, went to work for PNC Bank. And I get a call one day. So I know I'm not a member of the chapter, but I'd like to stay in touch with you. Why don't we just have lunch? I'd like to introduce you to a couple of my associates. Well, sure enough, I had lunch with him, and one of his associates had a customer that was in that situation, which was really terrific. So it turned into a $400,000 job.
Nice.
Now, in response, I actually happened to have an orthodontist who wanted to build a new building. He had been renting for 20 years, and he was at that point. One of his attorney, his wealth attorney, happened to be a BNI member and suggested to the orthodontist, call Jeff Solomon. I happen to have a relationship going back 25 years with that attorney. Here, he's somebody who is both a builder and an architect. He'll be able to help you. Interestingly enough, this orthodontist was already a client of our company, but he had just done simple office build outs. So he didn't know that we provided architectural service as well. And I get the call and he introduces himself. And I said, yeah, I recognize your name. I was in your office 6 months ago. You were doing a little remodel down in Festus for your office. I was with Bob Pankey, my colleague at VSP. He said, I thought it sounded familiar, that VSP. He said, I didn't realize you guys did architecture. So I got a referral for somebody who was already a client of our company that just didn't realize the extent of our service.
Oh,
Now, the great thing about that is, I said, tell me something. What, do you have financing? Yeah, well, I think I have something in place. I said, well, you're shopping the cost of a contractor. Why don't you shop the cost of money as well? It just makes sense. He says, you're right, it does. I said, would you be interested in perhaps talking to a few people? So of course, there's some commercial bankers in BNI that I gave him, but I also wanted to give back the favor. So that was the third tier type of referral back and forth.
nice.
So he got the loan for that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So he got $1.5 million or $2 million loan to work on that orthodontal building.
That's amazing. And you got to love that giver's gain mentality. And I think it's also really important to think, just because someone is already a client, for the validation that they get from hearing, hey, did you know this company you already have a relationship does that? I think that's a huge thing, because then that resells them as a client going, oh, well, I already do business with them. That's it, like the easiest sell in the history of ever, right?
Oh, absolutely. Giver's gain, as it turns out, is all it's about. I don't even worry about the business that I get back anymore. I just concentrate on what I can spread, what referrals that I can give, and how I can help somebody else. It comes back. So well does the system work that I have a colleague in our company. We went and talked to a prospective client, and it turns out we didn't get the job, but we're sitting in the meeting, and my colleague is selling VSP and doing the traditional sales approach. And then as the meeting's wrapping up, I said to him, enough about us. I said, how can we help you? Is there something that we can do for you to make your life easier, or your job? We know a lot of people, we have an extensive network. How can we help you? And my colleague, who had owned a building supply company, it was a major Armstrong ceiling distributor and Drive-It EFIS, exterior insulation finish system distributor in the St. Louis area. And he just sold the business a couple of years ago, came to work for us. He said, in all my years, he says, I've never seen somebody take that approach in a meeting. He says, but it makes a lot of sense. I said, why don't you come in and come to my BNI chapter and see what it's like. I said, there are not many commercial contractors. For all I know, I might be the only one in the St. Louis area. And so there's certainly room for more business. You could cover the St. Charles chapters. I can do the St. Louis and the Illinois chapters, because it's really visiting chapters is where it's all about. And where you get it. I mean, we don't have the type of position where I'm going to do a lot of business in a chapter. My business is usually third tier referral. He joined St. Charles West.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and do you know, when I first I met Virginia Muskies, maybe about a year after I joined BNI, it was that same wealth attorney who referred me to her and talked to her about it. And she later told me, she said, I remember when we met down at, we met off of Lafayette Square at a coffee shop down there. I remember that meeting. I thought to myself, this is not a profession that's going to work in BNI.
You just can't judge. I mean, you
just can't judge, because there's so much more than even just that one sale. Mm-hmm. I now am valuable to my clients. It's my network that's valuable to them, so that they know that they can call me. I had a client call me for a residential job. I don't do residential construction, but I had a team of people that I could recommend to him. And so he said, I want to pay you for this. I said, look, you're a good client. You give me a job a year. Mm-hmm. Repetitive business. I just want to see that you're taken care of. This is not my area of expertise, but I'm going to get you experts in the field.
Oh, that's amazing. That gives me goosebumps, Jeff. I love that. I love it.
So there are benefits that aren't apparent. So add that to the continuing education aspect, which is tremendous in and of itself. That's worth the cost of membership alone.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So true. So those are just general BNI benefits that you're bringing up. So what I'd like to know now, you've been a member for a year, which means you've been a member during COVID.
A
So
member of Gold Club for a
Gold
year.
Club for a year. Right.
Right.
You've been a member of BNI for a long time. You and I have
Yeah.
had many one-to-ones. I remember our first one-to-one at the Bread Co. in Shiloh.
Yes.
It just, that's my stupid human trick, right? But what I'd like to know is what has been the biggest benefit for you for being in the Gold Club for this year?
It's just legitimacy and it increases the visibility factor. Every little notch that you put on your shingle.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they add stripes for military people.
Yeah.
And I've got initials after my, most professionals have some type of organization that belong to. And for architects, we have a trade organization called the American Institute of Architects, AIA. Now, people think that AIA means that that's your license. It's not. It's a trade organization. You have to be licensed to belong to it, but it adds legitimacy in people's mind. They see the initials AIA after your name. Yes, this guy's for real. He's a real architect.
Right. And so
that means I don't have to wear arm patches on my sport coat to prove it.
Right. But being a Gold Club member really does, when people find out what that is, then they recognize it, that, at least my experience has been, these are people who really get it. I mean, when I looked at becoming a BNI Gold Club member myself, and I came to that realization while I was going to member success program, and how we hit on it in those last few minutes of that 2-hour thing. And I realized, wait a minute, I think, and I'm sitting there counting going, I've sponsored 5 people. I only need one more. And I realized, okay, I'm going to do this. Cause then once I really figured out, okay, so, and I remember, I think the person teaching was Mark Berth. And I remember asking him, who's in the Gold Club? Like, I think Mark Berth has been a Gold Club member for years, for like literally over a decade, longer than I've been a BNI member. And so he started rattling off names of who's in the Gold Club, and they all were people who I looked up to in BNI. And I went, this is a no-brainer then. It's my goal to get in the Gold Club. And 2 weeks later, I had sponsored a member.
I think the 2 best visibility factors are the Gold Club and the 100% Club.
Amen.
And the 100% Club is so easy. I mean, you just do what's recommended as your path to success in BNI, and you're automatically a member. And then once you're up there, the momentum carries you through. So if you have a soft month of BNI activity, you don't have to worry about it. You'll still be okay.
Oh, I love that. So that already answers my last question, which is what's one piece of actionable advice? And you're like, just do the minimum.
just do the recommended.
Get the 100% club.
It's so simple. It's funny. The most difficult part about BNI for members is dealing with the success that you get from BNI. I've seen this for a lot of small contractors, small businesses, because these folks, they're involved in so many aspects of their business. But the old axiom, if you're not out leading, you're falling behind. Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of true with your BNI membership. If you pull out of it, then you're going to be doing double duty to catch up once your business slows up.
Yeah. And
now I'm reaping the rewards of that constant activity. Does it mean sometimes that I'm up till 2 or 3 o'clock because in the morning doing some of my work, because I'm involved in production as an architect as well as sales. So at some point in time, I have to draw plans to get them in, and people have real deadlines that I have to meet. Yeah. But it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile. I got another job today there's like a $250,000 job that came as a result of BNI, another 3rd-tier referral. But nonetheless, it's somebody I wouldn't have even gotten the referral from had I not visited chapter, and that chapter had somebody visiting them. So it's a visitor to the chapter, not even necessarily a BNI member, but a friend of a BNI member. They were visiting. They happen to be a real estate person. Do you have anybody who does commercial real estate in your company? Yes, we do. I hooked up with that person, and I've gotten 2 jobs from that person as a result.
Amazing. And all you did was go visit another chapter.
And all I did was go visit another chapter.
Oh, Easy.
which is part of the reason why I'm an ambassador. It makes it
Yeah.
easy to go visit other chapters.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to share your Gold Club experience with those who are watching right now. And so those of you who are watching, if you're in Jeff's chapter, make sure you share this episode with other people. It's a great way to help Jeff out. And if you're another BNI member and you would like to learn more about how Jeff has been so successful in BNI, please make sure you check him out. Go find him in BNI Connect mobile app, reach out to him and set up a one-to-one with Jeff, because let me tell you, it's worth it. And he's a great person to know because he really does have a great network. So Jeff, thank you so much for your time today. I so appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
For more information on how BNI can help you build your business, book your complimentary consultation with Virginia Moose-Keith at discoverbnimitamerica.com. BNI Mid-America TV is brought to you by the Bergman Insurance Group, your trusted source for Medicare information, education, and enrollment. Be sure to check out the show notes for additional information on how to contact today's host or guest about their business, and thanks for watching.